kitchen. I've had an immersion blender in my house for about 12 years, and I'll tell you, it's one of the most used things that we use. All an immersion blender or a stick blender does is it, instead of having to have a whole separate process or a whole separate giant machine to process food, it allows you to go to the food and process it right there. So if you want to make puree soup, you do it right in the bowl. If you want to whip eggs, you do it right in your prep bowl. You don't have to have a whole separate machine. It's very easily held in your hand, just like that. You depress the button, and the blender's on the bottom. It's really a very simple product to utilize, but I will tell you, it is so comfortable. So if this is the vessel, that's how you mix it up. It's ideal for smoothies. If you like to juice or whatever it is, it's fantastic for that. Let me show you the colors, and then Miss Stephanie's gonna show you how it works. So the one I had in my hand is red. It comes in pink, which is right here. It comes in black, and this is called Periwinkle, which is a great color, by the way. I only have 75 of those if you want to get it. Very simple to operate, all right? Squeeze the button, it mixes anything as it goes. It's really super comfortable in the hand. And for the price today of only 29 bucks, and does that say free shipping too? I didn't know this had free shipping. Looks like I might need another one. And also the size of it, it's really comfortable in your hands. So if you have any issues with your hands, you're gonna love it. Miss Stephanie Roberts is already going to town, making looks like a delicious smoothie you got going there.
Good way to start the day.
Isn't it true what people, originally people love these because they don't have to have a whole separate machine.
Absolutely.
And you can go over to the vessel, whether it's a pot, saucepan, cup, whatever it is, and you can blend right in there, right? And the cleanup is running that under the tap water.
That's it. And honestly, if you want, you can throw it in the dishwasher.
If you really want to.
If you want to.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, so here's the thing about the immersion blender. If I want to make a green drink, which I often do in the morning, I don't want to get out my big blender, so instead I pile all my ingredients into anything, stick the immersion blender in, and go to town. I am saving so much effort not getting out the bulky blender, not having to wash and rinse and figure out how to get that blender clean when I can do it right here in my hand with Chefman. Now, what is so nice about this is how easy it is to maneuver. I've got my blade, I've got my base, and from then on, all I have to do is twist and lock. So ease of use is awesome. You are getting two different speeds, a low and a high, and you see how I toggle between the two of them with my fingers. So that's it.
Easy.
It couldn't be easier to maneuver. It's almost second nature. If you're not comfortable in the kitchen, once you put this in your hand, you know exactly what to do. Again, it's just making things that used to kind of feel like a chore so much easier. And then you end up doing things you might not otherwise do. So this is butternut squash soup. Never been one to make homemade soups. You wanna know why? That whole cook it, transfer it to a blender, put it back in a pot. Kind of dangerous, honestly, working with those hot liquids back and forth. And again, I'm just kind of a let's keep this as simple as possible kind of cook. This is simple. With my immersion blender, I can go right into the pot. If I was still on the stove and this was still really hot, no problem whatsoever.
I can't get over that. Look how fast
Look how
works.
fast. Okay, so this is 300 watts. This is 50 watts stronger than ones we sell right here on HSN for 3 times the price.
Yeah, I know. They're normally 100 to 200 bucks for a decent one. And Chefman really did us a great solid here by bringing that price down to $29.95. I mean, you know why? If it's 200 bucks, then you're like, you know what? I've got a food processor that's $200.
Well,
I'll just use that thing. But the real key to this thing is the great results that you get and the control that you have, because you know, like it's like when you're holding a spoon, you can feel the consistency of what's in there. You can do the same when you have this in there because it's right in the palm of your hand. And if you look at that beautiful soup, remember you just saw that, those were chunks of sweet potato.
Absolutely.
They're completely pureed. This works great if you're making a pea soup or any of the smoother soups.
Food.
And remember, if you're doing salsa and things like that, you have hand control, so you don't have to puree it.
No.
You can chop at the same time.
You can pulse with it.
Yeah.
You can use it as a puree. You can do anything. I will tell you, I have 4 teenage boys. They're very into weightlifting and power drinks and all that kind of thing. So they're drinking protein smoothies. I literally got them one and handed it to them and said, every time you make a smoothie, give it a little bit of a churn. And what a difference. So your protein drinks, your shakes, your morning drinks, your afternoon drinks. So so we're gonna show you that it's got the power to do ice. Pitcher of ice here. This is a great test for an immersion blender, because guess what? We all have countertop blenders that we know burn out on ice. Now I can do it in the palm of my hand. And what I like so much about doing frozen drinks with this, it's actually the first thing I test every immersion blender with, is that I don't have to make a pitcher if I don't want to. I can just make a little one. And I don't have to, again, get out the blender. I can do it right in the pitcher. Watch this ice go. And actually, I can feel the suction. It is drawing it in.
Yeah, and obviously, the smoother that you want it, the longer you go, especially when you're using something like ice. I like my margaritas a little bit on the coarser side. I don't need them
All right,
too
I'm going to
fluffy.
leave you a little then. I'll leave you a little chunk. But if you want it totally fluffy, you'll get there.
All right, my producer Dan just said that we only have we had about 1,000 of these. That periwinkle is going to sell out first. Now there's about 700. I'm just telling you, if you are a chef, if you are somebody who likes to cook or somebody that's brand new to cooking, this is a tool everybody should have. I have yet to see a professional chef that doesn't own one of these. They all do. What they do, a lot of them in the restaurant, they have one that's about as big as a boat motor. They have a big giant one, well, because they've got 16-quart stock pots and things. But for you at home, you just need one this size. And I will tell you, if you love omelets, this makes the best light, fluffy omelets, because you're also incorporating a little bit of air into there as well.
So this
it fluffs
has changed.
it up.
This has changed how I do my eggs. My scrambled eggs, my omelets, my frittatas. Oh yeah, mayonnaise is amazing.
Mayonnaise you will ever make.
Salad dressing. But here's the thing. How long did that take? Seconds, right? And I used low. But if you're going to do anything that you want just a little extra fluff and puff to, using an immersion blender is perfect. So that was a dozen eggs. Think about how long it would have taken to do that with a fork.
That's a really good demonstration, Stephanie, because like we said, eggs, if you're doing it with a fork or a whisk, it takes forever. And if you're a senior and you have issues with your hands or your wrist, you'll pass on scrambled eggs just because you don't want to deal with having to whip them up.
Absolutely.
You did that in 30 seconds. I mean, that's just crazy.
And it's such a difference consistency-wise. See that froth on the top? That is going to transfer to the lightest, fluffiest eggs. And it's so easy to use. I don't mind getting it out. That's what the difference is for me with cooking.
It stays out.
I don't want to deal with the blender all the time. I'm not going to get out a blender to whip through my eggs. But this is literally a 5-second thing. You keep it under the counter, pop it on, off we go.
We have about 600 left. It's going quicker than I thought it would. So if you would like this, and I'm telling you, there's no learning curve. You push a button and you move the thing up and down, and is this a raspberry vinaigrette that you're making?
It is. Let's talk a minute about salad dressing.
Look at how quick that got thick like that.
That was 10 seconds. And we know deep down we shouldn't be buying that bottled salad dressing. We know it's got the preservatives, the extra sugars, the fats are not the way we want them. Or in 15 seconds, you add oil, you add an acid, you add whatever flavor you want. In this case, we used raspberries. And suddenly I have a healthy and so much better tasting vinaigrette. If you're not making homemade salad dressing because it's a pain in the rear, you don't have the right equipment. Get an immersion blender and you can do this in seconds. It's not high maintenance to use or make, and the taste difference. Put your finger on the edge of that for me and just try it. It's so yummy.
That is so good. Now, and essentially, think about this. Whether you want to make it sweeter, you could use a balsamic vinegar, but this is fresh raspberries, a little oil and vinegar, salt and pepper.
That's it.
If you want to add garlic or whatever, you can do that as well. And it's tremendous. And when you pour it on a salad, you don't have to sit there and toss the dang salad because the dressing is already incorporated.
And it doesn't separate and get nasty.
It doesn't.
Look at the difference. It sits and looks gorgeous.
I'm going to go through colors one more time, Stephanie. We're going to update you. So I have, how many left in the periwinkle? So there's 50 left in periwinkle. I have it in black, I have it in pink, and I have it in red. Remember, each one has 2 speeds. It's easy. All you do is pop the bottom off, and you can throw that in the dishwasher. I just rinse it off because, honestly, that's the part that gets dirty right there. And when you rinse it off, it comes right out. No worries whatsoever. All right, so let's talk about things. Other uses. What about, like, if you've got kids or baby food?
Yes, new moms. Think about this as a great shower gift or a baby gift. Because, again, everybody wants to do what's best for their babies, but there's nothing that involves more work than the new baby. So if you're gonna get into baby food and make it yourself, have something like this, because now you can make each batch fresh. I know we talk a lot about batch cooking and freezing it in ice cube trays and all that. That's a lot of work. You know, I'll be honest, when I was a new mom, I was willing to, you know, do the path of least resistance because the baby itself is so much work. So these are fresh peas with a little bit of liquid. Now, if I'm cooking these for a toddler, I'd use less liquid and use a thicker and maybe leave a little chunk in it.
But if you're making pea soup.
If I want to do this for a newborn, I'm good. And yes, of course, we could do pea soup, but look at the color difference. Hold up this color next to a jar or a pouch of any baby food. It doesn't look like this.
I chop nuts with the one I have as well. So
Great
if you want to do nuts, if you want to do things like that, I mean, you can, anything you can realistically, most anything, like I said, you can do in a regular traditional big old blender or food processor, you can do with this little handheld model. It's 300 watts of power. It's enough to get through anything. The best part is it's so convenient. I mean, I will shy away from using the blender just because I don't want to clean the dang thing, right?
Well, and
so
it's
I'll be like,
easy.
you know what? I won't have a smoothie today. I'll eat that dang donut that's sitting there on the counter. Which is the bad decision because I'm just, you know, you don't feel like cleaning, but this is so easy.
Just
honestly,
a twist.
She would take that off, rinse it under the tap, or put it in the dishwasher if you really want to.
But that's it. So I like it for dexterity purposes.
Yeah.
Obviously the on and the twist could not be easier. The cleaning could not be easier, but look at how it fits into my hand. It literally rests between my thumb and my index finger. For anybody that has trouble, you know, grasping a fork or a knife or working it, this is just absolutely effortless. And then I use my second and third fingers to toggle between low and high. And that's exactly how it's made. I have small hands. This fits right in here.
You know what's another nice thing about it too? It's not loud like a blender or a mixer or a food processor.
There's high.
There it
That's
is.
it. But yet, 250 watts, 300 watts. This is the power you need to get through anything we're going to do.
500 left. How we doing on periwinkle, Dan? Dozen left if you want that super cool blue.
I do like that color.
I like that pink color too. I think that's pretty neat.
All right, so let's make more.
70 left in red.
Let's make something for the kids. How about a good little slush? My kids always want to stop at the convenience store, you know which one, and go to that machine on the wall. Okay, I know how much sugar is in those, so I can do things my way. I can pick the juice base of my choice, even make it a little bit healthier. I can add some ice, and then look at this. I can get that nice icy consistency without cranking out all the sugar, and without spending the money.
The exact consistency that you like.
Sure.
Which is it. Hey, I know our clock ran out. We're going a little bit extra time because we're really busy. I had a feeling we would be. This is one of those tools, like if you're, I don't care how talented you are in the restaurant. By the way, the periwinkle just sold out. I'm gonna move that off to the side. I have 50 left in red. If you love to cook and you're looking for something that's gonna make life easier, this is the tool for you. It purees, it whips, it froths, it chops, it does all these things that a knife and a blender can do, but it does it so much easier. And I think the nice thing is, listen, I'm not poo-pooing a food processor. If I got industrial tasks that I need to do, then I use it.
Absolutely.
But this is day-to-day cooking.
This is, and you were talking about if you love to cook. I actually look at it the opposite way too. If you don't love to cook, but it's something that you know is part of your life, you're feeding your family or whatnot, this makes everything easier. I get it out for every smoothie, every shake, my salad dressings, my soups. You're right about that green smoothies. I've been trying to drink a green drink every single day all summer long. I'm not getting out the blender. I want to do it with this.
Make your own mayonnaise.
I agree.
I'm just